All right, I think we're going to get started here. My name is Kara WUSATA. I'm a global coordinator with WUSATA, so I will be here kind of doing the background work in terms of questions. So if you have questions as you go, please use the chat box and I will try to field all that I can. We're going to save the questions for the very end for the Q&A session, but definitely if you have questions as you go ahead and chat them in and I can go back and we can go back to those at the end. So first up here is Johanna Heron.
All right, thank you all for coming. My name is Johanna Heron. I'm the new Global Connects Manager. I started with WUSATA here in March. I came from Alaska where I served as the Alaska State Lead with WUSATA. So I am familiar with all the stuff we do here and I'm excited to be here in a new role and be working with all of you. As you know, WUSATA, our vision here is to see agricultural businesses from the Western U.S. flourishing in the global marketplace. This year obviously has created some challenges as we have all had to cancel and postpone our normal activities and really rethink how we offer our services. At our core, though, WUSATA intends to continue connecting businesses to global markets in a professional, superior, and innovative way. For those of you that might not be as familiar, I'm just going to go over a little bit of basic information. WUSATA is an independent, nonprofit trade association. We've been around 40 years with experience in global export markets. We have a global network of resources made possible through two really strong partnerships. Our first partnership is at that federal level with our funder, and that's the Foreign Agricultural Services. They fund us through the Market Access Program, which is authorized in the federal Farm Bill. Our second major partnership is with our 13 member states, and that's visualized there in the center for you. In addition, America Samoa. I'm really excited when we looked at the roster today. We saw that 69% of the businesses signed up for the webinar today are from our member states. So 69% of our states are represented today with you guys in attendance, so that's great. For those of you that are new to WUSATA and maybe haven't been here as long, I just wanted to put this up and make sure that you're aware that we have many services at WUSATA. There's a variety of services, and when you use them all together is when you're maximizing your benefit entering and succeeding in global markets. So if you aren't familiar with all of our programs, you can reach out at any time to learn more. So please feel free to do that, and we're happy to explain our Fund Match program, our Global Connect program, or any of our educational resources. I wanted to give you a heads up on our virtual schedule. We wanted to start out with these sort of country overviews. We've done Mexico, today we're doing Korea. Next up we'll have Europe, that's going to be Thursday, May 28th. We'll have China after that, that's Wednesday, June 3rd. We are still in the works planning two more, one for Japan, one for the Philippines. After that, I believe we have another one coming up for Canada. So keep an eye out for those. In addition to that, our second phase, we hope to go to more of a one-on-one business consultation with our experts in the field for businesses to be able to sign up and have a consultation with their business in that specific market. And then eventually do business to buyer meetings virtually or possibly trade missions. So we'll get there. We're working hard to try and make everything happen. So hopefully those will be coming your way soon. I also wanted to remind you all, I hope you saw the survey that came out on Tuesday at 10. It's a survey that was intended to get your input about how COVID-19 is affecting you and your business. We want to understand better what's going on and how we can help here at WUSATA. Today, we're really excited to be offering the second market overview focused on Korea. I am really honored to be able here to introduce Ken Yang. He is President and CEO of Korea Business Services. Ken has 28 years experience working with sectors such as manufacturing, healthcare, medical, pharmaceutical and life sciences, chemical, environmental, alternative energy, consumer goods, food and ag products. He's got a wealth of information. Ken is our market representative in country. He does in-depth market development services, market entry strategies, trade and show mission development, retail promotion, and media contacts. Ken has connections with over 2,500 Korean food buyers and distributors. He's a wonderful asset to us, and I'm really happy to have him here. So thank you, Ken, and I'm going to turn this over to you.
Good afternoon. From sunny South Korea. There's some joke that, human beings are virus. Coronavirus is a vaccine for the us. So especially at this time that we have really high blue sky and, the beautiful weather at this moment. So hopefully, the coronavirus may be the good vaccine for the us, but no matter what, I'm very happy to speak about the post COVID-19, how it affect the Korean food consumption trend. So this is not a trend because this is only 1 quarter, 4 months, but I'm going to more updates what's going on in South Korea. So and then how South Korean people, enjoying the normal life at this moment. And then also I got, several statistical data on food industry and consumption during the first quarter or first, 4 months. And then we did also, have bio evaluation about the COVID-19. So I'm going to share that information with you. Well, as you may see that South Korea, in January 27, the first confirmed cases, who came from Wuhan, China, that he got, detected and then affected. And then the Korean, the Minister of Health and Korea CDC, they report and they track down. And then, this is somehow on February 29 is going up to 900 people per day that they confirmed cases happen. Now the April 19 that we got the single digit. So pretty much the curve flattened. And then now we see that the end of April or early May that only single digits, only even today there's 0 of confirmed cases. So only those who has some, minor numbers, those are from South Korea. I mean, the South Korean people that came in from overseas. Afterwards, May 7th, after, Korean Golden Holiday Week, there was a young guy who visited the Itaewon Club. So there's still 2 digits going up. So we have very, interesting momentum at this time. So no matter what the South Korean government, Korea CDC, their policy to track down all that, containing the viruses that test, trace, treat, and isolate. This wording from BBC World, but how South Korean CDC and Korean government, flatten the curve is, seeing is very interesting to see, on that. No matter what testing, at the beginning that the 5 South Korean detection kit manufacturer, they developed especially the real-time PCR testing kit in January. So when they were heard that the outbreak was happening in China, then they start to produce, and the KCDC they gave them an emergency use authorization. And then now the Korean detection kit and even the PPEs, they are tremendously used at this moment, not only in Korea but even the European countries and all over the world. And then also very interestingly enough that South Korean guys, I mean, they just drive through or walk through testing center I believe that probably you may heard about that. This is very interesting. So no matter what, in here that, everyone, who got, or, no matter what, showing symptoms or not, then, they are testing. So, and then, trace. So South Korean government, they use a lot of, the different technologies, they, the real time, even they are sending, every day I receive text message, alerting message that the patient, where patients are visit, which restaurant, which bar, or even the which, karaoke they visit. So they are warning message. So they do, alerting a lot of, the ordinary people that, avoiding that the places that the patient, visit. Even those, the foreign travelers, they have to, at this moment that they have to use that, kind of special application app, smartphone app for, 14-day, 2 weeks quarantine incubation period, no matter, travelers coming in. And all those travelers coming in from overseas, they have to use this smartphone so that the Korean government, they, track down and where, they are. So each people, they need to, report their symptoms and temperature. So Korea CDC people, they are call them and where they are and they track down. So this is, trace what they've been done. And then treats. Know who you are. Who am I that they tested in here? So, we do use a lot of, corporate training center during that the peak, season that, the Korean use that the corporate training center as a residential, treatment center. At the beginning, we need more hospital bed, and so they borrow all that training center. They use it as a treatment center. So whatever, foreign or domestic people, coming into Korea, then even, during the high peak season that of this pandemic, that, a lot of people, they are, separate and isolated. And then they, the government, they give all these personal necessities. So for quarantine, they have a lot of water and, the quick meals and, even, wet tissues they gave you. So no matter what, for the, 2 weeks, quarantine period. And then there are some reports that, those, patients in here that they are staying usually 20 days for hospitalization. So, during that, hospitalization, the total cost around $10,000. But because of our national health care system that, South Korean government, they cover whole, but only the around 40 or 45%, $40, we each, patient, they pay for that. So this is, test, trace, treat or isolate. This is a 3T, policy in here. And no matter what, the current economy is not good. So the government, plan, putting the economic stimulus package. So total $135 billion. So out of them, $26 billion for small enterprises, and then the $40 billion for top key industries and $25 billion for financial institute, and then $14 billion for emergency disaster relief fund. So during the last 2 weeks, each household, 4-member household, they received $1,000. But during the last 1 week that they received, very interestingly enough, that the number one item that they purchasing from this disaster relief fund is that beef, toilet paper, water, even men's cosmetic, even ramen, which is the instant noodle, and even premium ice cream and wine and liquor. So very interesting. So this fund is only supposed to help the small businesses, even the mom and pop restaurant or small retails. But this is only 1 week, but we have to see how. But this is Korean government really expecting this disaster relief funds would encouraging the more consumption in here. So no matter what, this $1,000 have to be spent by end of August. So I'm going to share more about how Korean, the people, enjoying the normal life in here. So I took all this, took the picture on the street, and the hypermarket. A lot of consumers now, they are, heading over the weekend, they are heading for shopping. They call compensation shopping. So they curved during the last, 3 months, and then they are get out and they are shopping. So they want to be, more, kind of enjoying and shopping in here. Mm-hmm. Well, and then the public library. So now we social distancing. We change social distancing to routine distancing in daily life. So with that, public library, National Museum, even there's an opera seminar that I attended. This seminar in end of April. And then even the Korean, pro baseball game was, the first one that, they opened to the world. So now, ESPN, they televise on South Korean kind of pro baseball game. So even we have, a 6-day golden week. So in early first week of May, that, because local domestic people, they cannot, travel to overseas. So they are mostly heading to Jeju Island. So, this is, a lot of people. So over 2,000 people, 200,000 people, they visit Jeju Island for the 1 week. And then all that, the tickets are sold out over there. And then the Wednesday this week, schools are opening, but, we noticed that a few confirmed, cases happen from, high school students. So this is happening in here that, but, schools are, normally opening here. So so far, a lot of, online education. So a lot of, families, they are watching, all the teachers, they are, kind of teaching through that, the Zoom or, Google Meet. And then even the first day of that, all the kids at the cafeteria, they still, keep the distance. And then even the certain classes, they have the shield, which is very interesting in here. So all the schools are gradually opening in here. So the 12th grade, the senior people, they just opened Wednesday this week, and next week, May 27, June 3rd, and June 8th. So hopefully, everything, going down and all the coronavirus contained. And then really, Korean parents, they are looking for how they can have their kids to, to get to the school. So this is the hard agenda, at this moment. This is what, and then I'm gonna, talk about somehow how the COVID-19 impact on Korean food consumption in here. In general, the first quarter from January to March, the total import of all the foods and agricultural product is down 4%. From the U.S., it's a 5.6% decreased. But we noticed that the intermediate product or consumer-oriented product or seafood product, they increased 2%, 5.7%, and 7.5% respectively. So everyone, they assume that this COVID-19 is directly affecting all those industries, but certain food items, the imports are increasing. I believe that usually the Korean buyers keep, whatever their imported food for, usually they keep for 3 months use. But I believe that after, 3 months post quarter, that April, May, and June, we have to see that how consumption trends are changing in here. But at this moment, but post quarter, that the older consumer-oriented product, they're increased 2.2% from the U.S. So this chart shows you which food items are increasing more than 10% at the first quarter. January, April, for the first months. All the food preparations and ingredient and the beverage concentrate and the ice cream ingredient flavors, they are increasing 12.8%. Even the soybean oil, it is increased 47%. I believe that a lot of local processors, they purchasing this one to serving their older franchise or whatever they're making the processed food. Even the alcoholic beverage ingredients such as ethyl alcohol, 83% increase, very interesting. And then even the frozen fish, frozen seafood, increased 37%. So so we have to see which, the food is a basic necessity for human beings, even the Koreans. So still there are certain sectors, the imports are increasing, no matter what the COVID-19. This chart shows you the import changes, some on minus, some on plus. The import changes in value within 10%. Soybeans absolutely increased 9%, and the nuts, tree nuts, we see that the 7.6% minus, decrease, but pecans, increased 2.6%, and cheese and curd, 7%, down. Even the coffee, guys are more enjoying their life at home, so 3.6% increase. Bakery somehow 3% down, and hay, alfalfa or similar forage product is down around 5%. But I see that these food items are more down, drop down more than 10%. So all that the citrus fruit, I believe that 10% minus, and chocolate and cocoa products. I believe that a lot of kids are staying in their home, and so that's why that even the the candies and drops, they are tremendously down in here by 12%. And fruit and vegetable juice is somehow 18% down. So but in general, that during the last 100 days, the coronavirus impact firstly the airline business and duty free and travel travel agency business and movies. They are dramatically down at the first round. Second round, COVID-19 impact all the traditional South Korean businesses such as shipbuilding, petrochemical, automobile, steel. There's a directly impacting. Now somehow there are professional service such as PR agency and law firms. Their business is already down. But we see that during the first 100 days that the food delivery service, as you imagine, is increasing, and supermarket, which is all that neighborhood supermarket, their sales are increasing. And online shopping, this is quite global trend, but online shopping, home shopping is increasing tremendously. So South Korea, we have a overnight delivery service. This is pretty much concentrated populate in here, such as metropolitan city like Seoul and Busan and Daegu. So we do overnight delivery service, especially for Market Click, Coupang, and SSG. They are top leading top three. The online shopping, they operate the online shopping mall and they do delivery. So this e-commerce market is really booming at this moment. And then this is the post-COVID-19 food industry issues. I noticed that a lot of the local process, they're concerned about, how they enhancing their food security, the contactless, consumption trend, which means that so-called untagged, consumption. So they're trying to keep, and they are using robot to deliver all the food within the restaurant. So a lot of startups, they, develop some special robot. Even, they are dripping all that coffee, by robots. So, and then food safety, immunity, and nutrition. And in general, that South Korea's, self-sufficiency of all the food is decreasing. So I believe that this is, the area that we should, pay attention. And in general, I'm going to, touch about the, retail, food processing, and food service sectors. So for retail, that as you imagine that, the online business increasing tremendously in February and March. So according to Minister of Trade, Industry and Energy, that, the offline business down 7%, their total sales in March, but the online business is increasing, 17%. So this is quite, imagine, everyone, may expect that, online business is booming. So probably, the American companies, food suppliers, you may think about how you can, supply your product to the online. I'm going to have several slides about, how the online, business is increasing. So Minister of Trade, every year they do survey, top 13 leading retailers and then online retailers. And according to this retail that, last year, the online sales take 42% out of $11 billion sales. But this year, it is increased 15%, which means that, no matter what the online sales, online business is increasing. And then also I have another slide that as you imagine that, at the first quarter, I mean, this all the statistical data is somehow, first quarter, somehow 4 months, certain, data are only, focusing on March. So please keep in mind that, this is a really short-term period, how I can get the, appropriate data, but this is for post-quarter sales. It's also online, in February, that online sales increased, 92%, and then April, 75%, which means that we have to keep an eye that, how we can see that the online sales. And then out of, this data coming from Statistics, Korea, that out of total, sales that, the 13%, made through that food and beverage. The other, the 12% electronics, even 10% of all the, online sales made from food deliveries. So this is, no matter what, we have to, consider absolutely this, online, how we can, cooperate with local retailers to sell the American, imported product through that online. And then the eBay, this is a different, statistic. But eBay, they do, release this data that the main, according to their, survey, that, the health product is the #1 item that mostly they, sold through that their, the e-commerce. And then even the basic necessities and food, and then baby products. And food processing, this is a financial supervisory service data dot. So each key major food processing companies, they need to report to DOT, the financial supervisory service. So according to these top six major local food processors, manufacturers, they report that in general, overall, that their sales are increasing. Even their net profit is not decreasing. Very interesting. Food processing is also enjoying, no matter what, they are, such as Dongwon, not in here, but the Nongshim, who produce a lot of instant noodle, their sales in February, March increased 100%. So all this one, all this one is that, kind of all that home meal replacement sauces, even instant noodles, snacks, these are, enjoying. So please think about that. Probably, you may need to supply all the ingredient to these, processors. So in those processors, and then in general, that sales of, even the processed foods are increasing somehow. Consumers are more buying and healthy, functional food. Whatever you have, all the vitamin or any, product that, enhancing the personal immune system. This is good potential. Even the convenient food, I have a different slide later on, but, there's a lot of, the kind of ordering the convenient food, ready to cook or easy to cook food, they are increasing. So even the home meal replacement is, phenomenal in here. So the HMR market in here is around $4 billion market size. But this data is the CJ Jailjedam, which is the #1, the food group in here, that they did have, the 1,000 consumer survey. According to their survey, that all that the consumers, they respond that 32%, and 51%, they see that, total, 84%, they see that the home cooking is increasing. And then even the home meal replacement, the total, the 46%, they answer that, they're purchasing more and more, HMR, product. So and then delivery and, takeout and dining out. Dining out is only 3%. They answer that. The kind of their consumers are answer that they are more dining out. Food service sector, as you imagine, this is the this sector is the largely affected by COVID-19. So this is the huge impact, as you imagine, even not only for their total sales, revenue, and net profit is decreasing tremendously in here. So those food service company, they are trying to develop new menu. Even they are serving non-face-to-face food orders. So they are trying to develop the smartphone web, and then even the kind of smart order service, which people easily order and pick up food from restaurant. And then number of restaurants are using this smart order, which they can use the app and they can order and then they can pick up. So these sales are increasing 14 times in March. And then the food service company, typically no matter what, even the hotel, top leading food chains, they develop take-out menu, to-go menu. So you can just order, and then we do have so many quick delivery service, motorcycle they deliver. So I have a different slide, but those they using the app. Even the Starbucks Korea and McDonald's Korea, they using their own app. So before you go to the the kind of McDonald's shop, then you can order and then you can pick up the time and then they deliver. So this is even the food service company, they are trying to turn this crisis into more opportunities. And then according to big data research firm, they did survey how the consumers, Korean people, they using what the keywords they are using the search engine, using at the search engine. So 배민, 요기요, foodfly, 배달통, we make price, 쿠팡 eats. This is all that the food delivery service app. So which does mean that the local consumers, they are using all these apps to order food menu. So this all 6 delivery, the food delivery service company, they are kind of using apps. So which does mean that no matter what, you can easily order the food through app. So this is more like a kind of revolution in terms of using and ordering all the food items through that online. So this slide shows you the the survey. So we did survey. We did contact all the food buyers and retailers and the food service company. So retailers in general, that their somehow their food sales total revenue is similar, was slightly decreased, but online sales, all the retail, so top 3 hypermarket, they have their own online shops, so they operate that, so their sales are increasing, and more consumers are kind of now returning to offline store from Macy's. Macy's we just open, and then consumers are more buying general product, and then they want. So very interesting enough that last week there was a lot of shoppers, they are line up at the the luxury brand Coach shop, and then they are waiting. So the luxury goods sales are increased 3%. So now retailers, they do have lot of retail promotion at this moment. So I think all the retail promotion is a good way. So whatever you do have your client, I mean the buyers in here, that just encourage them. I believe that WUSATA's branded program support for retail promotion. So you may consider discussion with all your buyers and distributors and even retailers to do some retail promotion. Food processing is generally okay. I mean their sales are somehow increasing more, kind of the healthy functional foods, their sales are increasing. So all that, the ingredient, raw materials, this is still keep going. And food service company, I believe that this is the only one sector having a great impact by the COVID-19. So, and then they are trying to develop new way, new technology, new information technology using surviving at this moment. And then even in general, the food importers and distributors, their main concern, I have a different slide, but the concern is that how they can import constantly from the overseas. So there's their main concern at this moment. But anyway, I have several slides. We did buyer survey, and then over 109 buyers, they responded, and then very interestingly enough, over 30% of all those the buyers, they respond that their sales no matter what during the last 3 months, their sales are increased or same. So I believe that I noticed that the majority of this COVID-19 greatly impacting on all the food service or food manufacturing or whatever, the sales are decreasing, but still 30% they are enjoying. I mean they are enjoying still their business are doing good. So this is very interesting figures that we obtain by subsectors. The almost 40% of all the retails their sales are increasing or same. And then as mentioned, that food service sector is the only one that greatly impacted by COVID-19. And food processing, 32%, they are okay. Their business are okay. They answer on that. And then all the importers and distributors, they're middlemen. Almost 29%, they answered they're okay. But somehow these all 40%, they answer that they are greatly impacted by the COVID-19. So still someone buyers and distributors, they are trying to looking having the product on the market. So and this slide shows you that what is the most challenges buyers foresee. That is that the FX rate, exchange rate, Korean currencies depreciation against US dollars is pretty much. So which does mean that buyer need to pay more money to import. So their concern is that exchange rate, and then another one is that the the product shipment delay from US, that is another concern. And then in general, the total sales, the sales are decreasing. There's another concern. And then somehow their concern is that, the logistic, that is the top four. And then also a lot of buyers, they are willing to travel, but, currently the restriction on business trip is also their, major, concern and challenges at this moment. And then buyers also answer that their interest, what would be their immediate interest? Their agenda is that how to increase their total revenue. 55%, 60 buyers, they are really focusing on how to increase their sales, which means that the retail promotion or somehow online promotion is one of the way that they can increase the sales. And then and then they want to more put their attention that how they can constantly import and how they can kind of keep the delivery time to the market. So the 57 buyers, that the constant supply from overseas is very important. And then the 40% and 31% buyers answer that they want to they are looking for new products and new suppliers. Still there's a room that, US suppliers, value-added food, product suppliers, there's still opportunities, in South Korea to develop, new buyers and distributors. And then, we did, as a side note, we did, survey, whether they have the experience in using the virtual meeting tools. The 48%, they are using the older Skype, Zoom, and Google Meet. So this is I noticed a lot of the economic development organizations and SRTGs and all the industry cooperation association, they are trying to connect buyer supplier through these virtual tools. So even I would like to encourage you to prepare, communicate with your buyers and distributors through this meeting tool. Of course, there's some time difference, but this is a good way to keeping your buyers and your distributors, and then still to keep the good network. So I believe that this COVID-19 maybe kind of we can overcome easily, maybe by end of this year or next year. That no matter what, 1 year, 2 year, but afterwards, how we can keep our contact, how we can buyers and distributors, how we can our close relationship with them. So using these meeting tools. And then also we ask them whether they are interested in participating kind of a virtual trade show or virtual webinar. So kind of majority of them, they answer that yes, they want to happy to attend this kind of virtual trade show or virtual webinar. So virtual meetings. So this is very interesting. So even food sector, in agriculture sector, they are not only ICT or more kind of life science or pharmaceutical, but also food industry. They are looking for using this virtual events. And then also we ask them whether they are interested in offline seminar or offline event in South Korea. That majority of them, 72%, they answer that yes, I'd like to attend whatever happening in South Korea. So I believe that we can keep in WUSATA. We have end of this year that we have outbound mission to Korea in early December. So no matter what, if outbound mission coming to Korea, then all the buyers seems like they are happy to meet with you. So this is somehow a good indication. And then also we ask them whether after COVID-19 is calmed down, after then whether they are willing to travel to overseas. That 55%, they answer that yes, they are happy to travel to overseas. So anyway, I have one more slide. No matter what, now is a time. So to action, take action. So communication is the key. So please, all those buyers and retailers, they are really looking for what's going on US side. So please update your current business status. So your challenges and your opportunities. I know that the still a lot of the reopening of the business is a hot issue in the US. But update your status to Korean buyers. I mean, international buyers. When you expect that you are reopening your manufacturing plants, and then the buyers are really concerned that kind of information. So even if you are consider new product, just update them. No matter what, whether these new products are in production or not, but update them. Even your shipment, logistic, how you can keep. So this is the key issue. Really, Korean buyers, distributors, retailers, they are really looking for. I mean, the information on your side. So please update your status to Korean buyers. And then, kind of the meeting with your client virtual is inevitable. I mean, this is so just, there are Google Meet. I mean, I believe that they are offering pre-service, and even the Zoom, there's a pre-service available. So even the Skype or WeChat or, whatever, there's many, the tools that we can utilize to communicate with buyers. So usually a lot of Korean buyers, distributors, even they are awake until the midnight to communicate with foreign suppliers. I believe the West Coast, your late afternoon or evening is early morning times, which is good timing to communicate with them. So utilize these virtual meeting tools to communicate with them, update your current status. I believe that the kind of be innovative, a lot of the advanced manufacturing, IT industry, they are always looking for having more creative, more innovative in terms of servicing their the offering their service and product. So I believe even the food industry, we have to be more creative, be innovative, and then we have to overcome this current challenging period with COVID-19. So with that, I'd like to end my presentation. So I'm happy to answer whatever you have a question in regards to Korean food market. Joanna, I want to return, or Kara, I want to return this one. So
Thank you. Kara, I'll let you lead the question and answer. Thank you very much, Ken.
Thank you. All right, so it looks like we just have one question in here, and it says, has Korea government issued any border restrictions to the travelers from US, such as a quarantine day after landing in Korea?
all travelers from overseas, we never ever, kind of lock down the border, but all travelers from overseas, upon you arrive, you have to test. There's a special testing place, the testing center. So you have to test, and then you are positive. You are hospitalized. We have special treatment center, and if you are negative, you have to stay for 2 weeks, quarantine period. This is a kind of 2 weeks, incubation period. So you have to stay at hotel, or you have to stay in your hotel room or in your, the designated place. If you are not having any, place to stay, the government, they prepare the designated facility. So you have to stay inside. You have to download the smartphone app, and then you have to report daily. 10 o'clock in the morning, you have to report to the health authorities that you are okay. You have to check your temperature, body temperature. You have to report. So everything you have to report through that smartphone app. So yes, 2 weeks quarantine period. This is mandatory. So afterwards, I noticed that one, the F&B guy at the Conrad Seoul Hotel, he just came in from Europe, but he stayed 2 weeks. Now he are, working at the Conrad Seoul. So all those, Koreans, Korean students after graduate, and they came back. Even they need to stay for 2 weeks. Yes, 2 weeks quarantine period.
All right, thank you. Next question that came in, how about the job market in Korea? Is your unemployment rate low?
The unemployment rate is increasing somehow, but not like US. The layoff is another issue. So that's why that the Korean government they are putting over $136 billion as an economic stimulus package. So government is more encouraging corporates to keep their their people, their workers, their laborers in their company. So there are a lot of dialogue. The labor union and all that, management, they are dialogue. But Korea Chamber of Commerce chairperson, he increasingly asking Korean government to ease that the layoff, issues, but still increasing. But the number of people who are asking for the government special fund is increasing, but moderately layoff is the big issue in here, so we cannot lay off easily. So usually job market is stable, but somehow increasing in here.
Thank you. Another question is, are containers currently arriving in Busan, moving through the port at normal speeds, or are they being delayed?
No, in South Korea, once you containers are arriving in Seoul, I mean in Busan or Incheon, I mean it's on time. So we never ever lock down on business. So there's no delay inside South Korea, but probably the shipping from the U.S. port may be the concern. But within South Korea, no problem. A lot of truck drivers, they are truck drivers. They are kind of, I mean, they are looking for more jobs. So kind of, the daytime, delivery from Busan to Seoul. So this is logistic wise in local, we don't have any, changes in here.
Good to know. Okay, and it looks like the last question in, do you think the trade mission in December will happen? I know our companies really want to go.
Yes. If you are visit, tomorrow, after 2 weeks, quarantine, yes, absolutely. I noticed that some people, at the hotel, the majority of hotel clients are, domestic people, but, I saw some, foreigners, they are doing business. So December, no matter what, as you see that, South Korea is very, very, kind of one of the countries that calm down all the COVID-19. So we expect, that, by, second half of this year, no matter what, this is good. So we have to wear the mask. So government strongly encouraging wear the mask whenever during the rush hour or the, the subway, public transportation. We have to, wearing mask is quite, common culture in here. So we are trying to keep distance. So yes, absolutely. But it is absolutely depending on, how things are going in the US. So, a lot of Korean buyers, they are, absolutely welcome your visit to South Korea.
Great, looks like a couple more came in. Are the ATOs still open and active?
Yes, they are working. So I'm gonna, have a meeting with them on June 2nd. So absolutely, if you have, any specific question, then, I will deliver your message to ATO. So ATO team and my team, we have a meeting on June 2nd. So yes, they open, yeah.
And then for food segment of online and home shopping channels is mostly shelf stable, center store, or perishable too?
The one of probably you see that the kind of, I mean, we have Coupang, Marketly, and SSG, and Marketly overnight delivery. So if you would order 11 a.m., 11 p.m., then, the next day in the morning, you can see that there's a boxes, on the door, I mean, the outside of the door, and then you can pick up. So those food items are just, ready to cook. I mean, even the, fruits and, vegetables and, everything. So now is a timing to even, the perishable goods is a timing to deliver, through that online. So markedly, not like US, but, in here, overnight delivery service. So absolutely, yes. Even they deliver all the milk and, the fruits and, vegetables and, everything in here. So yes, I say yes.
Okay, that looks like that wraps up the questions for today. It's 5 o'clock, and I hope we answered everybody's questions to the best of our abilities. Thank you, Ken, for doing that. That was very wonderful.
All right, thank you very much. So, I mean, kind of keeping more energy, more passion, no matter what this COVID-19 era, but, we can kill that, absolutely we can overcome. And then, all the buyers and even my teams and, I are looking forward to seeing you face to face in here and enjoying beer at the hot river. So absolutely. So we are looking forward to working with you, no matter what, for the coming, months and, days. So thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everybody.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Take care.